Hey, welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmental. This is Chris. Hey, I have a little add-on to the hay videos we did just the other day. So if you look at this hay, it's mostly grasses like orchard grass, a little bit of bluegrass. This stuff's got a little bit of clover in it. Pretty typical for us. But we raked this up yesterday, hoping for some sunshine, and of course, it didn't come. So it didn't get this dried out, and it sat all night long. And with the second crop being pretty dense, it kind of mats down a little bit. So then we bring the tedder in and we fluff it up. This style tedder works really nice for this kind of a thing because the way that we set our row width for our baler, we can go right back over it with the hay tedder, fluff it back up, and the baler can just go right back over it. Fluffing that up lets the air and wind get down into the bottom of the row so that it dries it out a little bit. You get a little dew overnight, things like that, and this will dry out and be ready to rock and roll in probably like an hour because the sun came out about 2 hours ago, and we're going to be able to bale some hay this afternoon. Dad's up raking, so we should have some more up on the hill, and yeah, it should turn out to be a good haying day. Let's get this finished up. When tedding, we don't go too fast. It allows the teeth on the tedder to really tear that row apart and get it flipped back there. So I just finished up this 7-acre field, getting it all fluffed up. Looks like it should be really nice and dry for this afternoon for my dad to bale up for a second crop. It was only about 7 acres. I knew it wouldn't take very long. So after a quick lunch, got another little project I got to do yet today. We got to do a quick run around, drive around the back pasture, we call it. I just got to double check the fence, make sure none of the deer in the area kind of made any damage. This is the start to the back pasture. Over here is just, they kind of come into here because they're right across over there. Can't really see them, but they're not too far away. But this is just like a 2-acre field that we let them into, and then they can come through this opening right here, and you kind of see we'll follow this path down and head back up the hill to get to the fence. But I usually will typically drive, just take a spin around it with the four-wheeler, just make sure there isn't anything major that happens. We do have a creek that runs through here that we'll be crossing. You know, they only spend like a few days in here, so they're not gonna do too much to it. But we got to double check the crossings and just make sure there isn't any major damage. So let's get going. Just looking for anything major. You know, I don't really have to get off the four-wheeler too much doing this kind of a check. You know, here's our creek crossing. It's just mostly rocks. We're actually bringing some rocks in, fixing this up a little bit because the one bank washes a little bit if we drive it across it. But you know, so we're gonna fix that up a little bit this summer yet. But I don't have to get off too much for this check. I can see if there's a major issue or not just from the four-wheeler. I can get close enough. But it's kind of bobbing and weaving through the woods. Kind of getting up to the fence just close enough so I can see if there are any issues. But the terrain gets a little tricky and fun. The other really nice thing about making these little fence checks is, especially this year, having the corn over here, I get to see what it's looking like on the back side of the field, because the soil does vary quite a bit in this field. When I did the crop check, it's actually a lot nicer soil than it is over here, and actually back that way where we just came from, it's really sandy up in that corner, and then there's a wet hole back. So it's nice to come back and be able to take a look and see how this stuff is doing. And out here, it's nice to see too that some of the grass is coming back. I'm kind of in a little bit of a wet spot right next to the four-wheeler. It's not wet right now, of course, but the grass is coming back. It's mostly like a reed canary or marsh grass type of thing, but the cows will mow through it pretty nice. The one nice thing about having a cheapo toolkit in your four-wheeler is sometimes you need little pliers. This wire was broke for my corner, and I'm going to have to make a new one. But I think I got enough wire right here that I'll be able to do that. Not a huge deal. I got to tighten this up a little bit anyways. We don't have high tensile, so not the greatest scenario not having high tensile, but we make it work. I'd love to do high tensile around the whole thing, but that's a lot of money. But it looks like there's a lot of decent grass out here for a couple of days. Only found one major issue that we're going to have to address after the soybeans come off. A big poplar tree fell down, and most of it is laying in our soybean field. But we'd wreck more soybeans trying to go clean it up than just wait until after we take them off. Yeah, so there was only that one issue back there, but other than that, the fence looks pretty decent. So we got that little project done. Now I got to get some diesel in the 4430. So I'm inside the 4430. We picked this up. This was a really big investment for us a couple years ago. We wanted to get into a bigger horsepower tractor. Our biggest tractor for the longest time was the 2940, which for a lot of people that's pretty small, but not for us. I mean, that was all we really needed. But we knew we needed to get into something a little bit bigger, a little bit more creature comfort kind of things. So this 4430 came around, and it was in really, really nice shape. We also invested in getting a fresh paint job on it. But it was a big investment, but it was definitely worth it. It does have AC, which works out pretty decent. Makes it a lot more comfortable. Dad does most of the baling. I'll do some of it. But the more hours that he spends in stuff that is a little bit more comfortable, that's all well worth it. It's just a lot nicer. But I'll get you turned around here and show you just a couple of things we did. So this is the quad range style, which took a little bit getting used to, but we're getting there. We've got our bale monitor back here. The guy did put a whole new interior kit in here. This mirror we added because it's looking down. You can see it's looking down at the pickup. Just so you don't have to turn around so much and look behind you. If you want, you can look in that guy there. That we just did we got this like magnet bracket that's actually sticking to the grill here. This works out pretty decent. But you put a new cab kit in here, and it turned out really nice. It's got the buddy seat, so it's a little extra wider. The other thing we did is we just got this El Cheapo off of Amazon, this backup camera, and we'll turn the key on here. Whoa, turn that down. Wow. So we have it set up so it's running all the time, and the biggest reason we got this is because you have to kind of almost stand up to see yourself hooking anything up. But with this guy, like right here is where the hitch pin is, and just makes backing up and hooking stuff up a lot simpler. So let's go get some diesel. we don't have any power out to our diesel tank, so we just hook this sucker up to the tractor and it works out pretty good. It only stinks if you want a 5-gallon jug of diesel and you don't have a power source. And that's all there is to that. That's a wrap for this video. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be great. Help me out. But again, thanks for stopping by.